Hello, everyone. Today we're going to discuss the subject of neo-reactionary, and that is being originated by an author by the name of Curtis Yarvin. He was born in America on June 25, 1973. He was a blogger, software engineer, and entrepreneur. He is extreme right as far as his political views, and that does not mean that we believe or agree on his views at all, but we do believe in democracy, and we believe in discussing and debating all kind of systems. With that, I'll leave the subject of to my grandson Tristan. By the way, he goes by the name of Manchus Moldbug. A lot of people don't know Curtis Yarvin, but this is his other name. With that, I'll turn the subject to my grandson Tristan. Go ahead, Tristan.
All right, thank you. So as my grandfather just said, today we're going to be talking about neo-reactionary ideology, and specifically we're going to be talking about the original theorizer of neo-reactionary ideology, which is, Curtis Yarvin. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So essentially, Curtis Yarvin, he thought that as societies progressed, they degenerated further and further. So the reason why he thought this is because he thought that, first off, laws are what make society. So more laws and more strict laws means that, you have a better quality society, or your society is more developed and more structured than other societies. So the more laws you have and the more strict those laws are, the more developed a society you have, right? Now, Curtis Yarvin, he talks about these things called nominal customs or nominal values. And nominal values are kind of elements of certain cultures that lead to the creation of more laws and more strict laws. So basically, he ties a direct correlation between the amount of nominal values that exist within a culture with the quality and development of society. Because, if you have more nominal values, that's going to lead to more laws, more strict laws, and then that's going to lead to a more developed society. Now, you can basically analyze that, like, let's take feudalism, for example, feudalism like 500 years ago. Obviously, feudalism as a system was a lot more repressive than, the system that we live under now, which is, like liberal democracy, right? Now, obviously this means that, if you're following Curtis Yarvin's model, this means that, these more repressive societies, were more developed. They had more laws and they had more nominal customs, right? So basically he says that, okay, we can analyze the cultures of, these past societies, and we can say that, okay, these cultures must have had a lot of nominal values because obviously these cultures led to very repressive societies. And obviously, the more repressive your society is, the more developed it is according to Curtis Yarvin's model. So basically, Curtis Yarvin says that when society progresses and it becomes more and more kind of decentralized, less and less repressive, society is getting rid of nominal values or traditional values. And this leads to the gradual destruction of the quality of society. So society keeps getting less and less structured, it keeps getting less and less repressive, and it keeps getting less and less qualitative. So Curtis Yarvin, he kind of comes up with one of his most famous ideas from this kind of theory he has going here. He comes up with his theory of the Dark Enlightenment, which is basically the view that the Enlightenment was a net negative for society. And his reason behind this is because, the Enlightenment, it was the real turning point in history in which people started to move away from repressive governments like, they started to move away from feudalism. They started to move away from repressive ideas like, the rule of man and the divine right of kings. And obviously the divine right of kings and the rule of man, those were very repressive social constructs that led to very repressive societies. And in Curtis Yarvin's view, better, more structured, more developed societies. And obviously, the Enlightenment challenging these nominal values, it would, at least in, his view, lead to, the destruction of nominal values and therefore the further degradation and the further destruction of societies. So basically, Curtis Yarvin, he says that when the Enlightenment happened, society began to go on, kind of a downward spiral. And, eventually from this downward spiral, it will result that, society will be completely destroyed and all remnants of society will be completely wiped out. Now, again, before we end this video, we want to say that we do not support Curtis Yarvin's view. We are not neo-reactionaries. We just think it's important to discuss intellectual ideas and, figure out how to combat them the best, the ones
It
that we
is
disagree
democratic
with.
system, so it is wise to discuss and interchange information. And that's how democracy succeeds.
All right. And that would pretty much wrap up the subject and the video as a whole. Thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. I know this video is kind of long, but thank you.
Thank you very much.